You won't believe who might have been pulling the strings behind the scenes in ancient Rome, a city known for its power, decadence, and its ironclad grip on the known world. Imagine this Rome, a bustling hub of emperors, senators, and armies, wasn't just run by those wearing the laurel wreaths, but by a hidden society lurking in the shadows, controlling events like puppeteers. What if I told you that the fate of Rome didn't always rest in the hands of its well-known rulers, but in a secret brotherhood with an agenda all its own? Before we uncover this mysterious group that may have shaped the destiny of one of history's greatest empires, make sure to subscribe and like, so you don't miss any of our mind-bending stories. Picture yourself standing in the heart of ancient Rome, where towering marble columns loom overhead and the scent of incense fills the air. You see politicians huddled in the forum whispering and soldiers marching through the streets. But behind these scenes, something much darker is unfolding. It is believed that a group, unknown to many, wielded more power than the emperor himself. A secret society so covert that its very existence was denied, even by those who were supposedly its members. Some say it was a cult, others a council, a clandestine assembly with one shared goal to control Rome from within, steering its political tides, wars, and even the emperors themselves. This group, some historians believe, had influence that went far beyond the city's walls. But who were they? And what did they want? Legend has it that this society consisted of wealthy senators, generals, and influential citizens, each one powerful enough to topple the regime. Some call them the Shadow Senate. The Shadow Senate didn't wear togas in public. They didn't shout in the forum. Instead, they met in darkened rooms under cover of night, planning, plotting, and deciding Rome's fate. They are thought to have had spies in every corner of the city, servants, slaves, even concubines, who would listen, observe, and report back. And what were they after? Complete control over Rome's destiny. But they didn't seek glory for themselves, nor did they care for fame or recognition. Their goals were different. Some say they desired to protect Rome, believing the empire would crumble without their guidance. Others think they had their own sinister agenda, one that went against the very foundations of the Republic and the empire. Imagine Julius Caesar, a name known throughout the ages, a man who crossed the Rubicon and changed the course of history. What if his assassination on the Ides of March was not a decision made solely by a few disgruntled senators, but a masterstroke orchestrated by this secret council? Think about it. They had everything to gain and nothing to lose. Caesar was too ambitious, too unpredictable, threatening their control with his bold reforms and populist measures. With his death, the Republic was thrown into chaos, and amidst this chaos, the Shadow Senate thrived, manipulating, pulling strings, and placing their own people in positions of power. Fast forward a few decades, and you see another emperor, Nero, known for his brutal reign and his love for music and art, yet also known for his infamous persecution of Christians. Nero's madness is a story we all know. But what if I told you there was a different perspective, a more chilling one? The Shadow Senate had seen Nero's eccentric behavior as an opportunity, using his reputation and actions to distract the masses, while they pushed through their own policies and filled the treasury with gold. They fueled his paranoia, whispered in his ear about enemies, and turned the citizens' fear and hatred towards him while they quietly took over the reins of the empire. But it wasn't just Nero. From Caligula, with his bizarre and tyrannical rule, to the wise philosopher Marcus Aurelius, no ruler was left untouched by the invisible hands of this secret society. They decided who would rise, who would fall, and who would be sacrificed to maintain Rome's stability or their control over it. And their influence did not stop at the Roman borders. Some believe they were responsible for the alliances and betrayals that shaped the course of wars. They may have influenced the fall of Carthage, the conquests of Britain, and even the uneasy peace with the Parthians. But their methods were always shrouded in mystery. They used bribery, coercion, blackmail, and when necessary, they eliminated those who posed a threat to their power. You might be wondering, why isn't there more proof of their existence if they were so powerful? The answer is simple: they were masters of deception. They left no records, no names, and no paper trails. Those who spoke of them vanished mysteriously, or their credibility was so undermined that no one believed them. And maybe that's the most frightening part, that they were so good at what they did, that they've been written out of history, deliberately erased by their own hand. On the other hand, there are hints and hints sprinkled throughout old books and accounts all over the place. Take, for example, Tacitus, the most influential historian in Roman history. There are parts in his writings that give the impression that there is a dark counsel behind some decisions. Yet the lines are enigmatic and unclear, creating the impression that he was afraid to reveal too much. Cassius Dio, on the other hand, is the author who describes shadowy creatures whispering in the ear of Emperor Commodus, directing his every action. Certain individuals are of the opinion that these texts are cryptic messages, warnings that were left behind by individuals who had the courage to talk about this secret council, with the expectation that future generations will piece together the truth. Some people are of the opinion that the demise of the Shadow Senate emerged not from within, but rather from without. The power of the Romans began to diminish as the city of Rome began to collapse under its own weight, afflicted by corruption, invasions, and a faltering economy. There is a legend that states that when the barbarians broke through the walls of Rome, the society dispersed and disappeared into the exact darkness that they had come from. On the other hand, did they vanish entirely, or did they only develop? Some people who believe in conspiracies argue that they never broke up in the first place. They think that the remnants of this secret organization dispersed to various regions of the world, carrying their wisdom and influence with them, and eventually reappeared under a variety of different titles throughout the course of history. Is it within the realm of possibility that the Shadow Senate discovered new homes in other empires, such as Byzantium, or even more contemporary states? There is a possibility that they had an impact on the emergence and collapse of other powers. Take into consideration the mysteries that history conceals, the gaps in our understanding, and the links that appear to be too close to be a mere chance that they are. Theories are plentiful, and one can't help but wonder if this ancient secret society is still around today, albeit under a different name, still carrying out its activities in the shadows, and still controlling the levers of power. It is possible that we will never know for certain. It's possible that they were successful in accomplishing their ultimate goal, which was to become invisible while also gaining complete authority. There is a possibility that they are the most ethereal ghost, a phantom hand that is directing the path of history without leaving any mark. Perhaps their story is nothing more than a fairy tale, a fiction that was fabricated in order to explain the inexplicable turns and twists that history has taken. On the other hand, there is one thing that is certain: the sheer idea of such a society triggers a spooky reverberation in our thoughts. In reality, who was in charge of Rome? Who is it that might still be making decisions in this day and age? It is important to keep your eyes open and your intellect alert, and to keep in mind that the truth can occasionally be found in plain sight. And if you want more spine-chilling stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe and like so you never miss an update. Keep watching, because there's always more to the story than meets the eye.